Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Authority Marketing Live of 2023. I am so excited to be here because today we have a fantastic author, and she's also so much more than an author. And so you are going to learn all about Hope Katz Gibbs as soon as we bring her on. But first, I wanted to remind you that we have the Get Visible, Get Clients Now event coming up. I am co-hosting it with the incredible Amanda Rose Igo. Here is how you can join us. It's vipdigital.live/getvisible. You will learn all the things that you want to know as an author and as a speaker that you can get more visibility and get clients now. So just this thing going by the screen right now, that is how you can join us. And it's on January 18th, and I can't wait to see you there. So, as I mentioned, we have a wonderful author coming to us today, and her book is called PR Rules, the Playbook. So I am so excited to bring her on. Hi, Hope. How are you?
I am great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for being here. Oh, and you have your book. Why don't you hold it up so everybody can take a look at it?
Okay, PR Rules, the Playbook.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, so why don't we start with what so incandescent PR and publishing is this. It's so vast. So why don't you tell us some of the things that you do with it, for it, in
Okay.
it?
Well, I'll take you back to the beginning. I launched the company in 2008. I am a journalist and I have written stories I try to write mostly about women as often as possible. I'm a general assignment reporter, love business, love it because I think it's a reflection of life. So in 2008, I thought I could help people tell their stories in a special way. So I started Incandescent PR, and we have worked with dozens of clients in these last years. And then we started to publish books by them because that's just another way of getting the word out, right? Like, what
Yep.
is a book? It's just stories, but between the pages.
Mhm.
So I launched Be Incandescent magazine as a business magazine, which is now Be Incandescent Health and Wellness magazine. And at the same time, I also launched the Truly Amazing Women Project, which is now Incandescent Women magazine. And then we started to just roll out other opportunities. Incandescent Radio is our podcast network. We publish about 18 podcasts series a month. And then we also have, thanks to the power of Zoom and things like this, we do them as video interviews too. So our clients get a ton of visibility, and especially about around these books.
That's beautiful. Okay, and so you can check out all things incandescent right there. And you even build websites for your clients too, which is
We do.
fantastic because every
Yeah.
author will need a website. So let's talk about PR Rules, the Playbook. What do we
Okay.
need to know? What are the rules?
So these are my 8 steps to PR success. It's my trademark approach, which is really a soup to nuts approach, because when you're promoting someone, you're promoting all of them and people change over time. So what I love about creating these websites, so these 8 steps start with create a stunning website, right? So the book is chock full of case studies and details, and 8 is the magic number. It's the infinity sign, and it just means to me power. So we start with their website because then I can manage and maintain their image and help them grow as they grow over time. So that to me is really the little black dress, the Brooks Brothers suit. The thing that makes the most difference to a client is having this stunning website. And then we move on, getting clients in the news. That is rule number 4, because it's not as critical as it was anymore, especially with social media. And even when I was doing it, I was getting my clients into every national publication they wanted to be in if they had a good story to tell, because as a journalist, I knew what a story was and what journalists were looking for. But now we create our own stories. So it's a different approach to trends and how things are changing and how people are consuming content.
Absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that because you and I have that in common, the journalist background. I said it to somebody yesterday. I said, everything I see the world through the lens of, is this timely? Will people want to know about this right now? What's going on in the world? And so I love that you take that approach and that you have said something that a lot of people get. There's misinformation about it, and authors think that, well, I published the book, now I need to go be on the Today Show. And there's so much more that needs to go into building that foundation than just
Yeah.
jumping into being on the Today Show? Because as you know, you can be on the Today Show, but if nobody can find you online, then your credibility's out the window.
It is such a complex process, and it depends what your book is about, whether the Today Show would even pick it up, and is that relevant? And, is it an ego thing? Is that why you wrote a book? Or are you really trying to share something with people? And so going to the heart and guts of it, there's a million things to do. I mean, there's a million stories in here, and each of them has a place to share and tell. So really, I have clients go deep. And that is what being Incandescent Health and Wellness is all about. I have this whole spiritual side to the company. I'm a licensed massage therapist, which was like a whole story unto itself, a Reiki master, a yoga teacher, right? So to me, the goal is to go deep and to say something that matters, to make your life matter, right? And mostly to touch others, so that whatever has resonated with you, whatever your purpose is, that you can share that.
So what's your purpose? What inspires
Mm.
you?
A million things, really. My kids are my life, my world. Um, Trying to help people be calm when I do a massage on a client. I really want to get them to go into their parasympathetic nervous system, because then your body will heal itself, right? So I take that approach to pretty much everything that I do. I think that if we can stay calm, then we can really accomplish a whole lot more. It's when we start to kind of spin, we get wrapped around that cactus, and it's really hard to untangle that, if it's even possible. So I try and go deep, have clients breathe, and then we approach everything that they do from that perspective.
So would you say then you're on a mission to heal the world?
I'm on a mission to get people to calm down. Because I think if we can relax, then we can accomplish, why are people happy on vacation? Because they are in that state of calm. And so if we can stay there, what couldn't we do?
Is that one of the PR rules too? It should be. It's
That's
the
sort
it's the
of
it's the unwritten ninth.
it's the power of eights. It's the introduction to the book where I talk about this. And this has always been my philosophy, not just of business, but of life, is to have that sense of calm and sharing, right? So when you get into those other states of fight or flight, then you're less inclined to be effective, and you go into your fear zone. Actually, one of my massage therapy teachers, she taught us about the psychology of the body. Sylvia Steinitzer. She's an amazing Australian woman. When you hear Austrian woman, it's like talking to Freud. And she talked about how the body is really like a traffic light. Your nervous system is the guide. So if you can go into that green zone, parasympathetic, then all lights are on, right? Then you hit yellow when you start to feel afraid. And then that's when you're in your sympathetic fight or flight. And if you keep that going, if you let the thought get out of control, you're in the red zone and you're a crumpled heap on the floor, right? And it's really hard to recover from that. That's where all that trauma happens. So if you can be mindful enough to stay in your parasympathetic nervous system and catch a thought before it gets your nervous system all fired up. So I think that is true if you take that metaphor and use that in your life, in your business, in your book especially, right? Then it's a different game.
Mhm, mhm. You mentioned that your magazines. Why don't we talk about those a little bit, because those are they're wonderful and that people should read them. So why don't you give us a little bit more about both of those magazines?
Thank you. You're so wonderful to ask. So Incandescent Women magazine started in 2008, as I said, when I make hand-rolled beeswax candles, and someone found them online. And I was invited to make 100 sets for a luncheon
Oh,
in DuPont Circle. It was Hadassah Lieberman was the speaker. It was called Aura. It was a Jewish organization. And Fran Drescher was there, a Holocaust survivor. It was unbelievable. It was 100 truly amazing women. And I went home and I went, I have to do something about this. I have to honor these women. So I started it as a blog, and it eventually turned into a magazine where every month we have a different theme, and I've featured hundreds and hundreds of women on Incandescent Women magazine, and it's so much fun. This month, I'm doing it quarterly at this point, and we are focusing on truly amazing educators.
Mm.
So Dr. Jenny Saunders is our cover story this month, and she is at Western Governors University talking about how distance learning is the thing and the future, and it's really, really cool. They were ahead of the curve way before the pandemic, so that's neato. And Be Incandescent magazine is my health and wellness publication. There are thousands of articles on there around the business of body, mind, spirit, heart, and soul.
Mm.
And I really feel like if we can tap into those things, so it was easy to transition the business publication, which focused on entrepreneurs, into this because I was always talking about the spirituality of business. And the cover story this month is about the power of Reiki, the healing power of that spiritual practice. So I have two Reiki masters, and I just love the work. So it's really subtle body stuff, but it's fascinating.
I love how you don't make things in silos and that you bring everything together because it is very much a holistic approach to life. You're saying you have your business, you're an entrepreneur, but you're also a person and you can't live in this fight or flight state forever. So much of what we as business owners are told, it's the hustle, it's the grind, but it doesn't have to be like that. And I feel like you're really living that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think so too. Otherwise, like, what is the point? You see so many people retire and die, or just die. People our age that are, like, wow. If it's gonna end, make it powerful, make it meaningful. And then make it. It'll last longer. I think if you're not constantly in at war.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Words to live by, everyone. So check out all things incandescent at incandescent.us. You can see the magazines, you can get a copy of the book. I'm sure it's available on Amazon, and you can see all the beautiful websites that they build and have a podcast hosted by them and all the things. So many wonderful ways to promote your brand and your book. Hope, thank you so, so much for being here today.
Thank you, Melanie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and Happy New Year to everyone. Have a wonderful day.